Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and having learned quite a few things from, through, and from within human interactions, and having pursued and completed my master's in business administration and in clinical psychology, I today wish to talk about healthy relationships. What might be a few of the aspects of having healthy relationships and the qualities that we probably can choose to aspire for to have healthy relationships within our lives. So, in order to kind of understand what healthy relationships look like or can look like, and since it's my assumption that many of us actually would like to aspire to have a healthy functioning body, in a way it then becomes essential to understand what the parameters of healthy body can look like, do look like. What are the qualities that contribute towards healthy physical body? So, in my understanding, the healthy state of any person is someone who experiences less illness and less disease. Now, let me clarify over here, I'm not talking of perfection. I'm not talking that we are okay, that we are all right all days of the week, all days of the year. What I'm essentially talking about is most days of the week, of the year, and of our lives. And if I may be bold enough to say, I can say that at least most of these parameters or all of these parameters need to function like this at least 80 to 90% of the days of our lives. So, coming back to the qualities that would quantify for a healthy physical state of any individual would be less inflammation and less pain most days of their lives, would be less sickness of falling sick less days of their lives, would also entail faster recovery, would also entail less inflammation most days of the week, of the year, and of their lifetime. Which then would essentially mean that every organ within one's own body is not overworking and not underworking, is not overfunctioning and not underfunctioning either. And when it's not overworking or not underworking, it's not in a compromised state of existence. It's not compromised, but it's optimally functioning, which invariably then means that if every organ within this organism that we call our body, is optimally functioning, not overfunctioning, not underfunctioning, is not compromised and is not compensating for every organ's functioning or non-functioning, it then becomes a naturally supporting organ to every other organ. And every other organ also becomes a supporting organ to support and maintain the health of this physical body, to maintain the wellness of this physical body. It only can become compensatory when it's compromised. And just to go a little deeper into this, in order to understand how many people are physically fit, how many people's system is not compromised, I went on to Google to ask the same question as to how many people in today's world are physically healthy. People who are disease free, people who are illness free, people who are inflammation free, people who are pain free. And I was slightly shocked to realize that WHO's report tells us that 95% of the people across the world suffer from some kind of an ailment, suffer from some kind of a disease, suffer from some kind of an illness, suffer from some kind of a distress. And in a way, it made me realize that we probably don't have very good examples of what true physical health actually looks like. It's not just the external appearance, but the true feeling of vitality, the true feeling of being pain-free most days, the true feeling of being illness-free, disease-free, distress-free most days of our lives. Which then actually makes me wonder and even question, if we don't have those many examples of being physically healthy, do we actually have good examples of what healthy relationships can look like, can feel like. Because in my understanding, just like a healthy body has certain parameters, has certain quantitative parameters, having healthy relationships will also have some quantitative parameters. So before addressing my perspective on what healthy relationships look like, which cover both the romantic and the non-romantic relationships, I'd like to first cite the example of what a distressed or compromised physical body looks like, feels like, so that we can understand the effects, the ripple effects of one organ over the others. So without personalizing it and without targeting it on any person or people, let's say that somebody suffers from problems with regards to excess acidity in their stomach, in their body. Now, the system, the organ, our gut, our stomach, naturally produces some amount of acid to be able to break down the food, to be able to digest it better, so that the nutrients of the food gets absorbed in the system a little better. So that's how this organ, our stomach, within the physical body, this organism is naturally working. It only becomes a problem when the production of the acids within the gut, within the system, within the digestive system gets overfunctioning, is hyperfunctioning, or is suppressed and repressed and is underfunctioning. So now let's assume that somebody's system is overfunctioning, is overcompensating for something that it can't digest, and the overproduction of the acids results in acidity, which then not only causes burning sensations within the stomach, not only starts gradually burning the lining of the stomach, but it also triggers and creates a chain reaction leading to heartburns, leading to burning sensations in the esophagus or the food pipe. At times, even burning certain layers of the tongue. At times, when it's strong and it kind of rises up till the nose, it creates problems within the olfactory system. It creates problem in the ENT system because the ear, nose, throat are all connected. In a way, telling us that it causes problems within the ear itself. And there are certain people who at times also experience headache because of acidity. Now, these are just few of the ripple effects that get created when the system or one organ of the system malfunctions, overfunctions, or underfunctions. It gradually, and if it is chronic, it is experienced on most days, begins disrupting the entire system, wherein the entire system begins to get compromised, wherein certain organs will begin to overfunction and certain organs will begin to underfunction or even shut down, i.e. collapse. And over here I could share only few of the causes that I could recollect. And many more such effects begin to show up, begin to surface up, begin to reveal themselves, like these that I'm sharing after I looked into what overproduction of acids do within one organ in the entire system. And in my understanding, the dynamics of the healthy and the unhealthy relationships work in almost exactly the similar manner. And since the WHO report tells us that it's only 5% of the world's population, which is 5% out of 8 billion plus people, actually experience and embody physical well-being. Quite naturally, in the similar manner, it is also my understanding that it is only 5% or maybe less that truly know what healthy relationships look feel, and work like. So, in my understanding, and as Esther Perel, the world's leading therapist, with regards to couples, with regards to family dynamics, with regards to cultural dynamics, would put it that the quality of our relationships determine the quality of our lives, i.e., our well being, i.e., our wellness, physically, emotionally, mentally, and relationally. And since it is the quality of our relationships, it's equally important to understand what the quality is of a healthy relationship can look and feel like. Communication, or rather meaningful communication, as a way to connect, as a way to understand, becomes an important aspect of a healthy relationship, wherein it provides a space for people to listen and to speak, for people to address their needs and their wants, to create a space wherein their needs and wants can be expressed first in order to be met later. It requires understanding. It requires mutual reciprocity. It's a mutually give and take relationship. It's never a lopsided or one-way relationship. Healthy relationships create space for open, honest communication, for open, honest expression, for trust to keep building up. And it is only when we can trust can we actually be open and honest. So openness, honesty, and trust needs to be the key ingredients, needs to be the key masala to have a healthy relationship. In a healthy relationship, which is mutually reciprocal, people are able to establish their priorities. People are able to establish and communicate their priorities. People are able to ask for help. People are able to provide support to each other when need be, wherein support is not taken for granted, is not taken as an entitlement, but rather the support comes and is developed because of the trust, because of people feeling safe within the relationship, within the environment of the relationship. In a healthy relationship, people care and show affection. There is a high degree of transparency in healthy relationships. There is no need of playing hide and seek within healthy relationships. There is a lot of curiosity within healthy relationships. People are interested in getting to know each other, which builds intimacy, connection, and greater bonding and trust. And when I talk of intimacy, it's actually intimacy, wherein one is able to open their hearts and their minds to let the other people or the other person see within themselves, which naturally cannot happen without trust and without feeling safe. There is no blame game within healthy relationships, for nobody is the victim and nobody is the abuser, but rather each person takes accountability and responsibility for themselves for whatever they bring into the relationship dynamic. In healthy relationships, there's a lot of appreciation with regards to the other person or the other people, and the appreciation is acknowledged. People are kind within healthy relationships. There is a lot of kindness and warmth within healthy relationships, which makes for a great supporting safe system. People are more open-minded with regards to accepting differences in healthy relationships. And if there are any conflicts with regards to the differences, and when not working, they are even resolved. So within healthy relationships, conflicts are resolved. They are not suppressed, they are not pushed aside, they are not left unaddressed, but rather are resolved so that they don't turn into resentments. Within the dynamics of the healthy relationships, people don't keep scorecards. Scorecards essentially entailing that I have done so much or that you don't do anything at all or so much as I do. People generally don't keep a tab as to how much they have contributed within the relationship. For their contribution in healthy relationship is appreciated and acknowledged. So they necessarily don't have to keep a tab, a score of the things they've done and probably not done as well. Within the healthy relationships, Nobody is overperforming or underperforming. Nobody is overdoing or underdoing. But rather, it's a very complementary, a collaborative teamwork. Now, when it's a collaborative teamwork, which also has the ingredient of healthy communication, of good communication, of mutual reciprocity, of mutual give and take, quite naturally, people are able to communicate and negotiate their boundaries as well. And boundaries are essentially communicated to help establish priorities. Now, just like within the healthy body, no organ gets compromised. No organ compensates for the other organ's overfunctioning or underfunctioning, which happens in the unhealthy body. In the similar manner, within the healthy relationship dynamics, people don't compromise. They don't settle in for something less than what they truly deserve, than what they are truly worthy of. They adjust for the time being, but they don't compromise. And quite logically, think about it. If we would not wish to live within a compromised body, within the organs that are compromised, if we do not wish to have within our physical state, why would we want it for our emotional state and our relational state? Within the healthy relationship, mutual appreciation and mutual respect is a non negotiable, is something that cannot be compromised upon. Healthy relationships demand supportive attention and not neglect. It demands our attention, our dhyan, and not negligence or neglect or even being taken for granted. Because it is only when we take things for granted that we start neglecting them, that we start underappreciating them, that we start depreciating them. And healthy relationships work towards building mutual appreciation and not mutual depreciation. Within the dynamics of the healthy relationship, the differences, the conflicts are resolved. Now, within the dynamics of the healthy relationship, people mutually grow. It's more growth oriented and it doesn't hold people back. These are the relationships wherein I, you, and we as a team grow and work together, or rather, work and grow together, wherein your desires, your dreams, your wants, your goals are as important as mine. And it creates a space wherein two people can grow individually as well without suppressing the individual, but the team also grows with a team vision at the same time. And if I can give a relatable answer, I would say that it kind of functions like the cricket team, wherein every individual brings their own unique potentials into the team. And from within the same team, somebody gets the best batsman, somebody gets the best bowler, somebody gets the man of the match acknowledgement. In such a dynamic, every individual is getting acknowledged and appreciated, and at the same time, they in their own way have contributed towards the team winning the match. However, even when the team doesn't win the match, people are willing to take accountability for the things that they could have done better, for the things that they will try and do better the next time around. And they are willing to still support each other. And that is what a healthy team, a healthy relationship dynamic looks like, wherein expectations are communicated, wherein goals are set for the individuals and for the team as well, wherein appreciation and support is naturally provided. Within the healthy relationship dynamics, big and small accomplishments are acknowledged, are appreciated, and are well supported. Within the healthy relationships, as we earlier said, since communication is healthy, is open, is transparent, is honest, is kind, and is supportive, healthy relationships don't offer and don't tolerate abuse, including the silent treatment. The equation of the healthy relationship is a very dynamic one. Now, dynamic necessarily does not mean turbulent, but it's pretty dynamic in the sense that it's evolving, that it's deliberate, growth oriented, that there's a lot of intentionality within the dynamics of healthy relationships, and intentionality with regards to every individual and the team as a whole. Intentionality with regards to creating safety, which is nurtured with trust, which is nurtured with open, honest, meaningful communications, which is nurtured with thoughtfulness and consideration and compassion, and is watered with curiosity. And then, in a way, what it symbolizes is a very healthy ecosystem. And in a way, it's exactly like those plants that we get in our homes, wherein we are living in cities. So we get these little plants in our homes, and we intentionally look after them. We intentionally cater to their needs. We intentionally nurture them without overdoing anything or without underdoing anything. And when we take care of those plants, the plants in turn take care of us. The plants in turn take care of our home, of the entire ecosystem. And healthy relationships work within such dynamics. Healthy relationships provide a sense of contentment, a sense of fulfillment, and not excitement and not the thrill ride all the time. And it doesn't necessarily talk and boast about happiness all the time, but rather it provides a place for contentment and fulfillment, not complacency. Healthy relationships are not the place for complacency to a large degree. For complacency exaggerates the feelings of meaninglessness, the feeling of feeling stuck, of feeling resentful, of feeling hopeless, of feeling purposeless, and even probably a sense of meaninglessness. And nothing about health or wholesomeness or well being or wellness actually would create any of those things, any of those experiences. And since the research is also telling us that loneliness is one of the biggest pandemics in the world today, within the dynamics of the healthy relationships, people don't generally experience loneliness. Now, let's not confuse being alone, a choice to be alone, to embrace solitude with a certain intention, with a certain purpose for a period of time, with loneliness. For one is a choice to have some me time, to have some me quality time, while the other is primarily about feeling rejected and neglected and probably even abandoned. Let's not confuse akela with akelapan, for the difference is as subtle and as stark as we are willing to understand that. And healthy relationships rather create a sense of belonging wherein loneliness will not be experienced. For it has a sense of meaningfulness that unhealthy relationships would not necessarily provide. And weirdly enough, despite most of us being in some kind of the relationship or the other, be it romantic or the non romantic ones, if across the world loneliness has become a pandemic, it is very indicative of the health of our relationships and thereby our individual and personal health and well being as well. And more than anything else, healthy relationships provide a sense of safety and thereby a sense of peace, which naturally promotes growth. And last and most importantly, and never the least, healthy relationships function with a sense of peacefulness within. And when I say peace, PEACE, what I'm talking about is a sense of shanti, is a sense of sukoon that only feeling safe can provide. And if we have met all of these parameters, at least 80 to 90% of the days of our lives, we need to feel blessed. We need to be grateful to have that space for us, to have been able to create that space for us and for the people we call our own. And unfortunately, given the statistics, it's my understanding that most of us do not meet these parameters on most days of our lives. And maybe then we need to question, where am I overcompensating in my life? Where am I underfunctioning in my life? Where am I overfunctioning in my life? Where I have compromised myself? And do I truly wish to live and experience a compromised relationship? Or just like the models in the L'Oreal ad would say, I'm worth it. Can we actually claim, can we actually say that I'm worth experiencing, that I'm worth living, that I'm worth creating a healthy relationship, that I'm worth having a healthy relationship? For once again, repeating the quote by Esther Perel, it's the quality of our relationships that determine the quality of our lives, the quality of our wellness, the quality of our well being, or the quality of our illness, of our disease, and our ill being. And what would it take for us to say that just like I'm worthy of having a healthy physical functioning body on most days of my life, if not all days, what would it take for me or for us to say that I'm worth having a healthy relationship with all of these parameters most days of my life? Let's try and see if we have invested and if we have created healthy relationships in our life that support our well being, that support our wellness individually and even together as a team. Let's try and reflect on that. And if we have not created that, if we have not aspired for that, why are we settling for breadcrumbs in our lives? Why are we settling for breadcrumbing relationships in our lives? Let's try and reflect on that, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share, and subscribe.